Hi, Steve here from Property Hive. From Property Hive, we send lots of emails. We can send appointment confirmations, we can send property matches to applicants, and we can send inquiry autoresponders and more. To configure these emails, under Property Hive, Settings, you'll notice there's an Emails tab. And you can see there's quite a lot of options here. We have quite a lot of flexibility over the email sent. The first one is the From email address. When an email is sent from Property Hive, which email address does it come from? There are cases where you can customize this or where it's overwritten to be tailored to the office sending the email, but this is the default email address or fallback if no email address is found. When applicant match emails are sent, they're sent to the applicant as a HTML email, and as a result, we can include images and set colors. The first field here is the header image URL. So this might be your logo or a header image that appears across the top of the email. It's expecting a URL to the image, but if you don't have one, you can upload the image into the media library and copy the image from there. Next, we have a few color options. So the first one is the email background color, this being the one that sets the outer color of the entire email. Next, the body background color. So the properties sent in a match will be contained within a container down the middle. That's the background color of the body. And lastly, the text color. In Property Hive, you can also send an autoresponder if someone sends a property inquiry. By default, when you install Property Hive, this will be unticked, so disabled, but tick it if you want applicants or people inquiring about properties to receive an autoresponder. You will still get the email, and they will still receive a thank you for your message when they click send. But this allows them to send an email to them as well, thanking them for their inquiry. So with it enabled, we can customize the subject and the body. So we can see it says, thank you for your recent property inquiry, sign off. And what's key here is in this autoresponder, we have this tag for similar properties. And what that would do is if you inquire about a property, let's say it's £100,000, 3 bedrooms, this similar properties tag will pull in other 3-bedroom properties around the £100,000 mark. You'll notice there's a few tags here and tags in further templates as well. We have a library of tags which will all be listed below this video in the documentation. But yeah, we can essentially pull in the property address hyperlinked if you want to link back to your website, contact dear, negotiator names, offices names, and so forth. So you really can customize these to be dynamic. Next, we're into the property match section. So we have a whole separate video on the intricacies of matching. This is where we set the templates for the content that's sent out. So you can see we have an email subject that's sent, a body, and both of these can be customized just before sending, but this is the default content. You'll also see we have a default from email address. So I mentioned above that we would use the from email address at the top by default, but here we can change how that works. So do we want to use that address set at the top, the default from email address, or do we want to use the user email address of the person performing the match? Next, we can include which statuses of properties are sent or included in matches. So we might not want to send sold or sold as TC. So all I've done here is click for sale, hold the control key on the keyboard, and click to let to select multiple. Finally, in this section is the ability to turn on auto matching. So you can match in a couple of ways, and we'll cover this in our separate matching video, but you can do it manually, where you manually go in and select which properties you want to send to which applicants, or we can turn on auto matching. What this will do is every time a new property is added or a contact is added, it will find suitable properties for that applicant and automatically, once a day, send properties out to them people. Next, we're into appointment confirmations. So we have email viewing booking confirmations, owner viewing booking confirmations, the attending staff or the negotiator viewing booking confirmations, and same for appraisals to go to the owner. Each of these can be customized with the tags again, property address, viewing time, viewing date. Again, we've got a whole range of these tags which will be below. And last but not least, is we can choose whether you should be able to customize the email contents before they are sent. So if I just show you how this works, so if I untick this first, so we're saying we can't customize them. If I then find a viewing that's pending, what you'll notice here is we have 3 options: email, applicant booking confirmation, landlord, and negotiator. After clicking this, what it will do is it will send instantly the email that we have set here, replacing the tags where applicable. Once sent, it will say the time and date that it was sent and give you the option to resend it if it were to go into junk or you had the email address wrong or similar. With the option down the bottom ticked where we're specifying we want to customize the emails first, if I try now, refresh the page and try now, what you'll see is that you can customize the content before it gets sent. And this is great if you want to add any bespoke information to the viewing confirmation, like where you want to meet, for example. Next up, we have the email queue. So I just mentioned that viewing confirmations will get sent instantly. They do, they go in real time straight away. However, the matches, because there's so many of them, or could be so many of them, we put them into a queue. After you send a match, they will come into the queue. We pick 25 at a time and send them in batches. So I think it's 25 every 15 minutes. What this means is that you have less chance of getting blacklisted, and it improves the reliability of them getting received. If it fails for whatever reason, we will retry 3 times before it permanently says failed, which you can see in the log. And then again, you can see which ones have actually been physically successfully sent as well. What you can also see when emails do exist in the queue is you'll be able to see the contents of the email. So you can click into the email to see what was sent. And if you're ever unsure on why an email hasn't gone yet or hasn't been sent, the first thing to do is come into the queue and firstly see if it is queued or see if it failed. Any queued emails will also say so accordingly on the applicant history. So if we go into an applicant and we had have sent a match to this person, the mail out would show. And if it was queued, it would say included in mail out 2 properties, queued to be sent in 2 minutes. So again, if an email isn't received, first thing to do is come into the email queue or the history notes of the person in question and see if it's queued.